So now let me get you all hung back up on the tripod here and get my tablet going so I can see your comments whenever you guys get in here. There we go. Perfect. So now let's get comments or get views going. I'm gonna turn on my tablet. I can't speak tonight. It's been a long day. Oh. So we are wiring up the Kraken 580. We just already got the heat shrink done on the wires. I'm gonna start wiring it back and basically show you guys what I do, which is super simple if you watch the channel. So I'll start waiting for some people to get in, and then I'll start wiring this thing up. Let's see if you guys can hear me. Can you hear me? Oh yeah, sound is coming through. Okay, cool. What's going on, everybody? I'm gonna start wiring up this Kraken, showing you what I do. Hey Mike, how you doing, bud? The first live video I've done, and it took a while. It was a hassle, but we are live and it is working. Yes, it is. The Kraken 580 is a beautiful model. Such an incredible model. The design of it, the color scheme. I know they came out with the orange one, the newest color scheme, but I'm a huge fan of the blue and yellow. I really like that color scheme. You guys haven't seen this model yet. There will be a video coming out shortly, but this is a build for a good friend of mine. So I went ahead and taken care of this helicopter for him. Setup as always, Hobby Wing 120, X-Nova motor, Torque CL 1208 on cyclic, 074T on tail, SRXL2 tucked underneath, ran the antennas up and out, trimmed about ½ an inch off of the actual antenna mount so they stick out. Icon 2, already covered all the wires and heat shrink. Let me move this canopy so I can read the comments. What do you guys got going on tonight? What are you working on? Line 500 to 700 series. Yeah, Align makes a really good model. I really like them. I still own a T-Rex 470, 500, 600, 760. I just sold my 550 actually. Sold it to a buddy of mine, Jason, that's local, so he gets to enjoy that model now because I built a raw 580. So, well, in the process of building it. All these helicopters take over. Let me know if you guys can hear me right. Oh, nice. What did you get in that estate sale? I just bought a new helicopter today, too. So I already went ahead, covered it in heat shrink. I am going to start figuring out what wire goes to what. So we have our BEC and throttle line. Awesome, thank you. How you doing, V1? Oh, so you bought, Mike, you bought all Align birds? Like that's all they are is 5 size helicopters? I still love my Align helicopters. I bought something cool today. Here, let me show you. Yeah, we're going to move the Kraken out of the way. Oh, this is something else that we got, too. Another raw. We didn't buy this today, but another raw 580. But this one is on 12S. So this is a helicopter for friend Damien. We're going to just go through it. There was not a single drop of Loctite on anything. So we went ahead and I already stripped the whole frame down, Loctited all the screws, and finished going to go through it. B servos, X-Nova motor, 500 and DKV, I believe. Nice setup. We're going to get a control. First time I've ever used one of those. But we're going to go through, get this one ready. I've done already a build series on the Align helicopters, so there is no point on continuing with another build series, so it'll just be like an overview build. So you guys don't see all the helicopters that I build every day. So many. But this is not what I wanted to show you. So today I went to a swap meet and look at this. Old Thunder Tiger Raptor 50 inside of a AS355 body. So we're going to have videos coming out on this very soon. Nice helicopter. And I got it for a heck of a deal. It's an old Nitro flyboard. Yeah, I figured everybody would like this thing. And it's a 600, but man, is it huge. And it's got a Thunder Tiger 50 in it. Nitro comes out the bottom. Nice scale. I want to go full scale. I want to do LED lights in it. I want to do moving windshield wipers. So if you guys see here, the windshield wipers, they can move. So I want to put little, like a little so they can go back and forth. Yeah, it's a nice helicopter. I like it. I seen it at the swap meet today, and you guys know I'm a 3D person. I'm not a huge scale person, so I was like, I'm probably not going to buy it just because he wanted quite a bit for it, and I'm not really into scale that much. But for what I paid for this thing, I had to have it. I had to have it. It's a nice model, but that'll be coming soon whenever free 5 seconds. So let's grab what we were working on and get back to working on it. The Kraken 580. I was sitting here doing this by myself, and then I figured I would get on live. How you doing, Bob's RC? Hope everybody is doing great. Mike says a little bit. We've done so many builds of SAB, a line and stuff, and then I also picked up a where is that thing at? Oh, an XL Power 520. So you guys. This one's not mine. This one I'm doing for a build for somebody, but I got a new kit. So 520, a brand new kit that we're going to build. This one's already built. We're just going to go through, throw an icon in it, rewire it up. But I've never owned an XL, so that'll be cool too. Something different. And it's cold as crap today. I tried to go fly, but it was 30 degrees outside. And I know for some of you it's not cold, but for me it is. All right, so let's finish doing what we were doing. So I know some of you ask, Mike, thank you very much. I try my best. I really do. I try to make it so that you guys learn something. You know, I want you guys to be able to learn. I don't want to be just a regular channel where you see me flying. I want you to watch how to build them, how to maintain them, how to wire a helicopter properly. Because there's no reason you shouldn't have a good-looking helicopter, a functional helicopter. So I'm starting with my BEC power, tying in the governor to the BEC line, and that's going to go to the governor port. So I always start with the furthest wire that's going to go to that side. And then I just basically figure out that I want a little loop here. Not too big of a loop, but when this is all together, I want it to be a nice size. So we're going to start with a loop about that big. That's what we're going to start with, and we're going to go ahead and cut this one off. So let's mark it. We're going to mark that one, cut it off here, and then we're going to crimp the new end on, and I just go one by one. Oh, I appreciate that, V1. Yeah, I like my boats. I've always been into boats. Ever since I was a little kid, I was always into boats, and just cut it clean off. I used to race Hydro Aeromarine hulls. Yeah, I got a Aeromarine, what's that, a Sprint Cat? We can look at that real quick. Let me get it down. Yeah, I got an Aerocat Sprint Cat, or Aeromarine Sprint Cat. I think I can get it down. It's tucked away up here. Oh yeah, I can get it down. Ooh. There it is. It's got an OPS 67 in it. And it's been a fun boat. The pipe really drove me nuts. Did you not unlock? Why aren't you coming off? There you go. It's been a while since I even opened the hatch, but it's got an OPMS 67 in it with onboard needle adjustment. The problem that we ran into on this boat was this coupler. As you can see, I used a piece of T-Rex 600 tail boom and to just play with pipe length. What I really need to do is get me another piece of aluminum tube, TIG weld it to the actual header here, because it needs to go back even more than where it's at now. The pipe needs to move back about another 1/2 inch. And that coupler, because the coupler is so long that it's just ballooning out, and then as you can see, this one is blown, and it's even got a here, but it's still just you can see it spider cracking around the coupler there. So that's something I got to work on. Haven't had time. Oh, that's the same boat you got? 21 tunnel haul is also awesome. I didn't know they made a 21. I've got a what is that, a top speed 3? Yeah, I got a top speed 3 that I put a KMB 7.5 outboard on, and I mainly did that because everybody told me it would never work, and I like challenges. But that boat runs good. It's only got 3 runs or 4 runs on it, so it's not broken in or nothing. But up here in Tennessee, we have a lot of big lakes, but nothing that I've found that's like able to run this boat really hard. And I really want to make this boat nice. I want to paint it. I want to give it a nice paint job, base coat, clear coat, make it, look good. Not only perform good, but I want it to look good too. But it's got all good hardware in it. I bought it from my local hobby shop for a really good deal. OMB engine. Was that gas or OMB nitro? I remember I think it was nitro, but I don't really remember. Back. Has to be. Let's see. Nitro. Yeah, I remember these. It's been years since I competitively ran a boat. I used to run them a lot when I was young. Big lake that we would all race at. Oh, somebody asking about this fabric paint. Okay, this is on Amazon, $7 or so. It does come off very easily, and it's nice to be able to let it run and seep into your connectors, but you can take it off. This stuff is great. That's what it is right there. I used to race outriggers in North Carolina. Yeah, I like the outriggers. That's one boat I always wanted and never had. So as a kid, I always wanted an outrigger and never had an outrigger. And I keep saying that I'm going to build one now and never do. I need to build an outrigger because outriggers are extremely nice, and I've seen some ridiculously fast electric ones. Like, they are so fast, it's not even funny. It's cold today. Got my nose running. 30 degrees outside. My garage isn't heated. I got a heater running, but it ain't heated. Just erase them there. What's up, Jason? I got your galley over here. Oh, over there in the corner. Trying to get this little cracking done real quick. So you guys answer some questions about wiring. Did you guys get any flying done today? Mike Reed, how do I get a hold of you outside of YouTube? Send me an email, westhobbiesrc@hotmail.com. So go ahead, send me an email. Also on Facebook, it's just Jeff West on Facebook. You can send me there as well. You can message me, whatever you need. You can send me. You just ordered some. Oh, you're welcome, man. I hope you enjoy it. I like it a lot. Another buddy of mine, Jason, down in Florida, a good old friend of mine. He's the one that introduced me to it originally. Of it before, and he uses it on the airplanes. So he introduced me to it, and I've been using it ever since. Because I don't like shoe goop. E6000, any of that stuff I really don't like. So I decided that once he showed me that stuff, I really started using it, and it's so much better. Because E6000 makes a mess. It's really hard to keep it nice and clean. Ugh, I'm tired. I'm ready for bed. And I have 20,000 helicopters to build. It really took me forever to get on this YouTube live. I tried for like 20 minutes. It kept telling me that it wasn't there. But we're on it now. And I do want to thank all you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for all the support. For every view, every like, every comment. It means a lot. All the questions. I'm glad that I have a channel that you guys can watch and enjoy, and it's not just another boring helicopter channel, because that's not what I wanted this to be at all. So let's go ahead and crimp this servo end in. I always start with the black wire, the negative, because of the way the crimp senses the crimper. And then I just gently and carefully push it through till it feels a little tight. And then you will get a nice crimp almost every time. And you guys let me know, is this something that you guys want me to start doing more often? Would you guys like live videos? You guys can just talk with me, hang out. We can do stupid stuff like this, work on a heli, talk, questions, whatever. Then you pin your email in the chat when you're done with this show. Yeah, I can, Mike. Sometimes weekends can be as stressful as other days. Yes, I shoot goop on my big gas suit, pain in the ass. Very excited to find this paint. I hope it works good for you. I really like it. I mean, and it's so. What I really like about it is when you run it down the connectors, it actually, as it dries, it'll seep in a little bit, and it'll glue everything to, and it holds all the wires together. But if you need to get it apart, you can just take an X-Acto knife, like here, for example. Where's this icon at that I just took out? So I just took this icon out of a helicopter, and it was done with the fabric paint. Now you can see a little bit of, stuff on it, but all I did was just take my X-Acto knife, cut down the plug, like in between the plug and the casing, and then just come up and just kind of work it and then peel it off, and it comes off clean. So it's good stuff. And finally, I gotta rewire my drag and order some connectors. Yeah, I like these crimpers, are what I like to use on Amazon. They're like 25 bucks, and they work great. They're the ratcheting kind. I don't never use the other kind, but the ratcheting is so nice because it can hold. So I like to put my connector in, and then it holds it there. So while you're working on your wires, you're trying to get them put into place, you're moving the wire around, you don't have to worry about the connector falling out. And then I also like to kind of wiggle the wire around to where I feel like it's in there good, and then crimp it down. And now I know I got a good crimp. Give it a little tug, make sure that wire ain't going nowhere, and then go on to your next one. It is very important, though, that you take time and practice crimping, because it can be bad if you don't crimp right. And it does different size wires, but sometimes, like when you get it in there crooked, I just drop it back out and reload it, because sometimes you can get them crooked, and that ain't no good either. Oh, and Mike, for what you were asking, most of the videos have my YouTube, or my, not my YouTube, of course you have my YouTube. They have my email address in them. At the bottom of like the video description, it'll have like, it'll say if you want me to build you a model, or if you want to contact me or whatever, there'll be a video in there. And for all you guys that do ask, yes, I build helicopters for people. So if you guys ever want a helicopter built by me, wired, whatever, go ahead, send me an email, and we can discuss everything that we need. Then we go here. It looks great.
Hey, you even hold my whole entire camera.
Oh, wow, you did a good job, baby. Good job.
You still watching me?
Yeah, I love you. Gotta have the little one come in. Yeah, and then also I recommend getting. Sorry, I also recommend getting yourself. Like I buy this wire. I'm almost out actually. Literally, that's all the wire I have left. It's 50 feet and it's 22 gauge. Nice silicone wire. It's thick and very flexible. It's a quality wire. It is a very quality wire. So I just ordered some more today. A 50-foot roll of this. And what I would do for you is that I would cut off you a piece about 6 inches or so, crimp on both ends, cut it off the crimp on both ends. It's going to be a little bit of a waste, but it takes like 10 to 20 good crimps to learn what you're doing and how to do it. Because you want to make sure that your wires are, clean and ready to install, but you don't want that crimp letting go. And you also, I'll show you in a second, you don't want the crimp to not be in the actual connector. You want the crimp to be solid. So now that we went ahead and got this one done, and then I also saved my cutoff ends because I use those for making like short extensions and stuff. So now we're going to move our throttle wire out of the way. So we're going to base all of our harness onto this loop here. So we know our next is going to be the tail servo. So we're going to not worry about that because the tail servo is down here. It'll kind of run up and out. So the next is we need servo 3. So you guys know that it's 1, 2, and 3 on SAB models. All of them, that's the servo layout. So we know that 1, 2, and 3. So this wire is going to be the next wire that goes. So I need to trace that one down. That one is this guy right here that I kind of tucked up out of the way, which is perfect. So this is going to be wire 3. So we are going to trace this wire through, and we're going to follow that same line and see where we need to be. And somehow I lost my marker. What the hell? How did I lose the marker? I swear, I would lose my head if it wasn't on my shoulder. I'll put it back. That's my biggest problem is when I'm building, my wife gets mad at me all the time. My grandpa does too. He used to always get mad at me for this. I like to be organized. So I always put stuff back, even when I'm done. Like not even done. I'm just still working. I always stuck stuff back. It's a very big issue of mine. So now we're going to run servo 3, which we're going to double and triple check. Yep, that's servo 3. And we're just going to follow our little harness line here. Make sure that we are good to go with what we're doing. So I like to pinch hold it and then run this wire with this harness here. So that way it kind of follows through. And then I always use the icon case as a reference point. So we know we need to cut it right there. That's where we're going to cut that one off.
What state do you live in?
I'm in Tennessee. I live in Middle Tennessee. Sort of by Nashville. Very close to Nashville. Where in North Carolina? I got family in North Carolina. So now we are going to cut and strip. Also, get you a good pair of these little side bites.
Rawling.
Okay, I know where that's at. I have been there a few times. I got family in Greensboro. I believe that's where they're at. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure.
Nice, I'm up in Canada.
Wait, yeah. Canada is very up north. I've always wanted to go to Canada and never have. Definitely want to go there one day. I talk to a lot of people actually that live in Canada. But see, by me, there's not a lot of helicopter people. So it's very rare to find helicopter guys up here. I guess they all quit flying helicopters, not 100% sure, but they don't fly helicopters up here. I plan on, there was a heli event. What event was in North Carolina? Wasn't there one that we like just passed? Because I was going to go to one in North Carolina. Oh, wow, Bob, you're in North Carolina too? That's crazy. Or not, sorry, not North Carolina. You're in Canada. Yeah, RCHO. Yes, that one just passed, right? Because that's the one I wanted to go to. but I just got tied up and busy. Oh, and if you guys want me to explain the SRXL2 and DSMX satellites, let me know and I'll explain it real quick for you, because I've gotten quite a few comments on why I do that or what's the point of that, so I can do that on this live too. That way you guys can have a better understanding of why I like to run redundancy and I'm very big on keeping a model together, and I don't like issues.
Can you do a live icon and BeastX setup?
You want me to do a live setting up an icon in BeastX? Yeah, I can do that. I've got a few of them set up. I got this one. I've got the one. Every helicopter here has got an icon in it. Well, is getting one if it doesn't have one. So yeah, I can definitely do that. And then we can. I got another 420 raw that just came in today that I need to build. So I know a couple of you guys asked about 420 icon setup video, so I'll do that. You hear I'm good at it? Sometimes. I try to anyways. See, what you guys gotta know or remember is that when I started flying helicopters many years ago, many years ago, there was no person, there was, but people back then were like gatekeepers. People really, they were stingy. People didn't want to help you, and they didn't want to show their tips and tricks and everything. So that's the main reason why I started this channel, was because I love helicopters, and it's something I always wanted to do. And as a kid, couldn't really ever, I mean, we could afford it, but they were just, everything was so expensive. And you guys that think models are expensive today, whew, if you were around back then, we used to pay $180 for a set of wood blades. And they sucked. And they would warp all the time. But when I first got into helicopters, everybody thought it was a secret, and everybody was under the mentality that you just had to figure it out. And the forms weren't like a huge thing. I mean, there was forms, of course, but people weren't as... Man, this one's giving me a hard time.
As a new heli pilot, years under my belt doing 3D fixed wing, I find the hardest part is FBL setup. So setup tutorials would be so awesome.
So I do have a icon setup video. I have, it's on the channel from a couple months ago. It was actually on a Kraken 580 that I did, the first Kraken. So I do have an icon setup video if that's what you're interested in, but I will definitely do a live video so you guys can kind of see what I do. But yeah, Mike, so you know what I'm talking about then. You've been in this hobby, you know, as long as me, probably a little longer. So you know exactly what I mean by people, they were different. Nobody wanted to help. Nobody wanted to be there or be that questionnaire person for you. So when you had a problem, you had to figure it out. And I literally spent hours and hours and hours of days and nights and weeks to try to figure out how to even program a helicopter. And back then, programming was a whole lot more intense than it is now. Because you had to do your CCP and mixing and for your swash plate in the actual radio, and it was just, it was not what it is now. And we didn't have self-level. We didn't have all that stuff that we have now. We dreamed of back then. Literally dreamed of it. So when I was going to start this channel years and years ago. I was going to start this channel like, I can't even remember now, a good 3-4 years ago was my original. And then I didn't, sorry, I was reading comments. I just didn't. Everybody told me that doing a YouTube channel for helicopters was stupid. That nobody would watch it, that nobody flies helicopters, and it was just dumb to do it. So I didn't do it. I listened to everybody, and I was wrong. You know, I'm not a big channel whatsoever, but you guys have definitely allowed me to keep doing this and keep making these videos. So I appreciate it. In the AMG, so did I. No gyros or trim. Man, in fact, is it? Okay. Started flying helicopters. My dad bought a GMP Cricket, and my dad never really got it to fly. He tried, but he couldn't fly. So that's back when I really wanted to learn helicopters. So my grandpa would make the parts, and I tried to fly that thing for years, and it never worked. But we didn't have a tail gyro on it. No tail gyro, none of that stuff. So what we did is we just learned to fly the tail helicopter. You just flew the tail. And then the Blade CP stuff started coming out, and I got one of those. And then T-Rex 450 electric came out. You had a GMP Cricket. I would love, if any of you guys know where to find a GMP Cricket, please let me know.
I just started with Helly's decent info about anything.
It is. It is. Like I was saying, everybody thinks it's like the secret, this gatekeeping secret. But my thing with it is if you want to keep this hobby alive, I'm sure you've always heard the keep RC helicopters alive and blah, blah, blah. So if you want to keep RC helicopters alive, then don't you need to help the new people coming into the hobby? Don't you need to give people something that, build videos, repair videos? Not everybody is as smart, or not even as smart. Not everybody is as talented or has the know-how to build a helicopter. These things are no joke. Helicopters are a saw blade, a flying saw blade. So if they're not built properly, you can have a lot of serious issues. And that's why some of you guys make fun of me when I keep saying icon, or not icon, when I keep saying Loctite. Everybody's like, oh, you say Loctite a lot. You say Loctite a lot. That's because I can't tell you how many helicopters I've worked on or got in from other people that don't have Loctite on nothing. Not the head bolts, nothing is Loctited. Very important. So I want to make sure that the new guys coming into this hobby have a very easy way to work on helicopters, fly helicopters, and be successful at it. Now, I am not whatsoever a great instructor and or teacher. It's just not me. So that's something I know a lot of you ask for some kind of actual teaching videos, but I'm not a great instructor. So I leave instructing up to my grandfather. He is good at that. I'm personally not good at that. So now we're going to run servo, what are we on, servo 2? Yeah, servo 2, because it's 1, 2, and 3. Oh, let me read. I know some comments came in that I didn't read.
I had a bunch of GMP Hirobo. And yeah, I had a couple Hirobos too.
I always wanted a Raptor 90, never had one. And then today I had a Raptor 50, so I thought it was just funny that I always wanted a Raptor. They were the shit back then. And then I always wanted a T-Rex. Man, did I want a T-Rex so bad as a kid. Never could afford one, but I wanted one. I had a 450, but I wanted like a T-Rex 700. So now we're moving on to servo 2. So again, I'm just going to kind of pinch this wiring together so it kind of follows that same concave, the same curve. Get me close enough. And then I leave me a little bit of wiggle room, so before I do the junction heat shrink, I can kind of push and pull just so it's super clean. Because I like everything to be very clean, and my magic marker is running out. It's going to be a problem. I need my magic marker. My wife keeps stealing all my markers because I steal them from her, so she comes in here and steals them from me.
Did you see news a few years back about father and son accident? The heli spun up and hit the son in his head and was killed by the blades.
So yes, so that's a little okay. So Mike, that incident, are you talking about the one in New York City, or are you talking about a different one? So if it's the one in, Bob, thank you. I appreciate everything perfect, and I've been in this hobby so long, literally my entire life, and I have had anything and everything you can do about failures. I've had it. So when I build, that's why like with the SRXL2 and the DSMX satellites, is it overkill? Yes, 100%. Do you need it? No. Well, I do, but you can get away with just an SRXL2. And you don't have redundancy. So, Mike, I'll get back to you on that real quick. But real quick, so when you guys are building a carbon fiber helicopter, you have to think about signal. Signal cannot pass through carbon fiber whatsoever. It can pass through fiberglass, but it can't pass through carbon fiber. So when you have the canopy on this model, all of this is covered in carbon fiber. So if you have your antenna, one satellite or something coming out the side, you are going to lose a lot of signal. So now, if you think about it, there's carbon fiber receivers and non-carbon. This is a non-carbon, this is a carbon. The only difference is the length of the antenna. The end of the antenna is where your signal transmission is coming from. So what I personally like to do is I like to have signal from all around the model. So my SRX cell is going to be up signal, up and out. But anything below this half is going to kind of be blocked out because the signal can't pass through it. So I put these satellites down at the bottom here, and I run my antennas out this way. So that way I have 360-degree coverage of signal strength, and I never have to worry about signal issues, brownouts, receiver loss, none of that stuff. Okay, and Mike, yes, so I do know about that. That kid was doing TikToks. It was a T-Rex 700, I'm pretty sure, but he was doing TikToks, and something happened, and the helicopter hit him in the head and literally pretty much cut his head in half. But there's been multiple of them. There's been quite a few. If you actually look it up, it's pretty bad. And that's why I take in very serious to safety. And that is why I am very cautious on my builds. I don't fly really close to me because safety is important. And you guys have to remember these things are literally a flying saw blade. So when you're flying a helicopter, even if it's a S2, M2 model, it's that little helicopter is that S2 or M2 spinning really tear you up. Really can. So you got to be careful. Enjoy the hobby. Enjoy for what it is. Helicopters, in my opinion, are the best in this hobby. So let's enjoy them and let's be safe. Safety third. You know, when you guys are working on a model on the bench, take the blades off. It's not a big deal to have to put the blades back on. I've seen so many people that leave the blades on. And I mean, if you have a model that you know is a proven model and you just working on it, technically, no, you don't have to remove the blades, but I highly recommend it. I would highly, highly recommend it. Did the video freeze? Oh, sorry. Hold on. Sorry, did the video freeze on you? Yeah, my phone says it had 20% battery, so hold on a second. Okay. So I don't know what the... Be safe with flying these things. They're not a toy. These helicopters are no joke, and they could really do a lot of damage. And we want to enjoy this part of the hobby. But if you know of anybody that has a GMP Cricket, please let me know. I would love to find a GMP Cricket. All right, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I figured it was back. It was just the it freezing from my phone saying 20% battery. That's a good crimp. Get another crimp going on here. Are you guys flying tomorrow? Jeff, did you get the IRCHA? AG2, Mike, yes, I was at IRCHA 2022. I will be going back to 2023. Nothing much, man. Just sitting here working on this Kraken. Figured I would do a live video that I've never done before. So I figured let's do a live, do something a little different. Answer some questions if any of you guys had questions. That's awesome. 6 batteries. Yeah, I went to go fly today because I built, you guys seen the video already, the 6S Puma. And I've been having massive head issues, wobbling. And actually, let me talk about that real quick. I'm going to make another video on this for the people that don't watch the live. But I do want to touch on this. So, if you do fly Pumas, okay, you might have at low head speed wobbling issues. And the issue with that is we came to find out the third bearing block. So when you install this bearing block in the manual, it tells you to tighten these 4 screws, 2 on each side, as you rotate the shafts. I didn't do that. I missed that step. I didn't see that. I don't know. I didn't do it. So what I would do, and what I did was I loosened these 4 screws, and I put Loctite on them, ran them till they were almost touching, and then I took the blades off the helicopter, spooled it up, let it run at about 1500 RPM, and just let it run. And then I slowly snugged them up, and then loosened them again, let it run a little more, and then snugged them up again. Cyclic wobble at low head speed is gone. I also went to 70-70 dampeners on the head for this one because this one's going to be flown 6S setup, very soft, no crazy 3D. But if you're going to be flying 3D, I would highly recommend the 70-90s, not doing 60-90s. But yeah, I went to go fly that today. I got like a 3-minute flight on it, and my hands were so freaking cold that I just decided to not do that anymore. It was way too cold. I have a 580 raw that I just finished for a buddy of mine, Andrew. I'll grab that real quick. This thing needs to be mated. Here's another build. You guys haven't seen this one yet, but you already know the deal. I just noticed yesterday on my drag at low head speed, I can get a good shake at the skids. Idle up on it. So that's the same issue I was running on to with the Pumas. And I have 2 of them in my garage right now, 6S and 12S. They both at low head speed. It would shake so bad that it literally would start shaking these lower frame screws loose. And that was the same issue. So I don't know if the Drake has a 3rd bearing block, but if it does, I would recommend loosening it up, rotating the motor, let it run a little bit, and then tighten that 3rd bearing block back down. And it should fix your issue. It did on the Puma. So I just finished this one up. Another raw 580. You guys already know torque servos, Icon FBL unit, Spectrum SRX L2, Hobby Wing ESC. Came out great, I think. Nice and clean. So I was going to go fly this thing today, but it started raining and cold. And then you guys, yeah, we're going to build a Freedom Edition Puma too for another buddy of mine. So we're going to build a Freedom Edition 12S Puma, which is, everything's the same. It's just a different body. But I am very excited about this scale helicopter. So if you guys have any ideas on what you want me to do with this thing, let me know. If you guys want me to do something different, we go full scale on it, let me know. Keep the comments down below. We're going to do a full build series, rebuild series. But let me know if you want anything specific done. If we come up with a new scheme for it, maybe. Maybe we go all out and make opening doors and a nice cockpit, cover all the mechanic stuff in it. We'll pull the mechanic cover off real quick. I've not bought any of those newer style birds. What kind of money are we talking? Well, for what size? So are we talking 700s? Are we talking 580s? What setup are we talking about? Are we talking about like what you see here? And that's the one thing that sucks, is getting this. There we go. Okay. So it's all fiberglass body. 700s. All right, Mike. So if you build a regular raw 700, what's like the next? Okay, hold on, GT. I'll answer your question. So Mike, if you build a regular raw 700 with the good stuff, I'm talking torque servos, Icon FL unit, X-Nova motor, Hobby Wing ES 200 amp ESC, you're looking at around $3,000 if you have nothing. They can get very expensive if you're looking at a 580 is $1,800-ish, $2,000 by the time you're done. That's battery and everything. So they can get expensive.
G2, make like your next heli.
Make this one my next heli? Builder. You want me to do the scale? You guys, all right, how many of you guys want me to do the scale next? Let me know how many of you want me to do the scale helicopter rebuild. Because Monday is coming out with a another build series. It is a Gowie. So that video is already uploaded, coming Monday. But after the Gowie's done, Do you guys want to see this next? Do you want to see a scale helicopter rebuilt? Clean it up, refreshing it, get the mechanics set up, learn how to program an old flybar CCPM setup. This is actually a really cool setup. So let's pull the blades here for a second. So I'm a scale. Oh, sorry. Knocked into you guys. Okay. So Mike, you should know this because you flew Raptors. But look how cool. This is your collective tray. So your collective servo goes to a bell crank and then to a push rod up to a actual collective tray. So that's going to be your positive, negative tray. And then your aileron servo goes here and it rotates left and right. And then your elevator servo's on this back side. That's going to be your forward and back. And then your throttle servo's down here. So I just thought this was really cool because I always knew about the tray. But again, I never had a Raptor. I always wanted one so bad. I wanted a Raptor 90, but never had one. So I thought that was really cool. And Mike, is it normal for this ball link? Is there supposed to be another push rod to go here? Like, why is there a ball link here, like a ball in, but no link? And yes, G2, it is a Gowie NX7. They consider that a 50 size. Yes, it's a 600 size, right? 50 size nitro. Oh, you want me to make it look like my Blackhawk, my Mini? That would be cool. So like go full out scale with it. Yeah, that would be a cool one. It's another location for pitch. So is it needed? Like what is, I know it's for another location. Oh, so you could run like your pitch arm for different like collective range? More or less, is that what it's for? Longer momentum, less? Yeah, but it's a cool helicopter. I'm excited for it. It came out, it's in very good shape. I want to clean it all up. I want to add. So where it's at now, is this going to be more or less collective pitch? Because I haven't put a pitch gauge on it, but I would assume that's about 10 or 11 degrees of positive and like 10 degrees of negative. And it's got old Fataba 9251s in it. I haven't seen those servos in a long time. It's got 9252 on the ailerons. It's got 9252 on elevator and a 9202 on throttle, and I don't know what tail servo. It's buried way back down in there. Okay, so the way it's set up now is for less pitch. So if I move this over here, I get more pitch. We can try to 3D this thing. Oh, and this is one thing I want to do is I got to look up the real one, but those scale exhaust or those exhaust outlets, I want to put in red LEDs so as it spools up, they glow like it's like an afterburner turbine exhaust. I thought that would be really cool. Or what I might do is instead of the exhaust coming out the bottom, because I don't know if this helicopter originally had a turbine in it. I'm assuming it did on the full scale. But the exhaust comes out the bottom. So how cool would it be to run the exhaust so it came out up here? We could run some copper pipe through here for the pipe, and then we could actually have the exhaust blowing out these vent holes because they go all the way through instead of it blowing out the bottom. That would be something cool to do as well. Just leave it there. Okay, cool. I'll just leave it there. I don't expect to do any kind of 3D with this thing, but you guys already know I say that all the time, but I do it anyways. But I just want to get it flying and get it running around. I would really like to find the scale 3-bladed head that they made for this. If you know anybody that's got one. I highly doubt it because I know Raptor parts are extremely difficult to get. But I do have another T-Rex 600 coming this week. That would be cool. Oh, with the exhaust coming out the back. But I do have another T-Rex 600 coming this week. So I may use those mechanics in here and do a more modern head assembly and flybarless. But I think we're going to try to fly it the way it is. I think giving it a good cleaning, wax it all up, make it look nice, clean everything up real good. I think it would be a fun helicopter to fly. And I think what I'm going to do is I think we're going to get it cleaned up and flying before we do all the scale like add-ons and such. I want to get it, tuned and set up perfectly before we spend all the time making it look perfect. Or we might just make it look perfect and not even worry about that. Who knows? But the head seems to have in it, so I don't know if that's normal or not. Put you back over here. I have my tablet set up in the corner so I can read the comments. All right, so now we got to finish crimping.
I keep getting sidetracked. Jeff, change it out. The double-sided sticky tape mounts to magnets. Double-sided sticky tape.
On what? On the canopy?
Double-sided sticky tape.
Yeah, on the canopy you mean change it out?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not double-sided tape. That's like a foam vibration thing or not. But I do want to put magnets on it just so it's easier to pull it on and off because that screw at the top sucks.
It's on the backside. G2, Jeff, what parts would you recommend to get for the raw 420?
Upgrade parts. What do you mean by that? Like electronics or like the actual upgrade stuff? Here, we can actually go through some parts.
When's your Skids Up pod?
The Skids Up podcast, I believe, is going to go up on November 26th. It's the next episode they release. So this is the next 420 that we are building. Okay, so kit parts, there's really no upgrades that you need. The motor guards, I think, are a must because they really help protect the actual motor itself. So here's them on a helicopter. So they really do, help stop if you get into a crash. You're going to hit the motor guards and not the actual motor. But there's no other upgrades that I recommend. It depends on if you're going to be running low head speed, then I would definitely recommend changing your tail pulley to, regain more tail authority. But I think it's perfect the way it is. I did add the SAB XT60 holder. I had to re-drill 2 holes. As you can see up here, I drilled 2 holes at the top. So that way the connector would move back because they're going to be releasing a front mount. And I want it to be able to close all the way while the battery's plugged in. Yeah, I don't think there's any like actual must-have upgrades. And here's a pink canopy. If you guys haven't seen the new canopy, my buddy Jason bought this for love with it.
What the heck is that?
Oh, the 420? That's a Goblin Raw 420. That's the newest Goblin Raw that they have come out with. Very, very nice model. It's like a 500 sized helicopter. If you go back on the channel, Mike, you'll see I have a bunch of videos, build series on it, flight videos, comparison videos. Awesome helicopter. But the pink canopy goes down and it actually doesn't look too bad. I mean, of course, you put the pink stickers on it.
So the canopy looks great with the yellow.
Yeah, 100%. I'm keeping the yellow on mine, but Jason likes the pink, and he's a very scale sport flyer anyways, so he'll never have an issue with it. But yeah, the pink, my favorite thing about it is the clear coat. I wish they would clear all their canopies, so I'm going to mix up some clear whenever I clear coat my wife's Jeep because I'm in the middle of getting ready to paint that. So whenever I'm clearing her Jeep when I'm painting it, I'm going to mix up clear and paint my canopy that way, and my 580 canopy because I like the look. Like the Nitro Raw 580 looks incredible, so I really want it. But yeah, this is Goblin Raw 420, direct drive, big old motor, micro servos, very simplistic helicopter, awesome machine, stupid amount of power, flies great. Oh, and this is the Gowie NX. But here's the Gowie NX7 that we're building. So you guys don't see how many helicopters I build on a daily basis. But here's the Gaui NX7. This is yours, Jason. So good. Gauis are such an intense build. There's so much to them. It's crazy. But we got an OS 105 on it. We're going to have Icon BK servos. So this first part build series will be out Monday. This is a very nice machine. I'm excited to try this. Good things about Gaui. Never bought one. Yeah, Mike, if you've never bought a Goblin, highly, highly recommend it. Hands down, best helicopters ever made. They are just incredible models. You know, we've been on live for an hour now, and I've gotten 3 servo connectors. Keep getting sidetracked. You guys keep sidetracking me. But I enjoy it. I want to...
Okay, I'm all into it. Why does the frame look so thin compared to the Goblins?
Because it is. The frame... Like, look how thin that frame is.
Larry, Peter Patter brother, I know exactly how many helis you build. I know people. Oh, people?
You know how many helis I build? Okay, let me ask you guys this. How many helicopters do you think I have in my garage right now? Not just my helicopters. I'm talking about build helicopters. How many do you think I have in here? Larry, I hope you and the family are doing well too, buddy. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. You think I build 4 a day? 52. Okay, let's count them. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Here, you know what? I'm not going to just count. My garage is a mess, but here, let's count them together. Bear with me for a second. All right, so we have 2 on the table. We have 1 down here on the floor. Okay, we have 2 here. We have 2 up there. We have 1 down there. That's a 520 XL kit. That's a 520 XL built. And then we have the Gaui box here. We have another raw 580 kit here. Box of parts. And then we have 580, 700 Puma, the new scale build. All of those are helicopter kits to be built. Little scale stuff, little scale M2. And then we have all of these helicopters here. And then we have all of those helicopters up there. And we have more, couple of small boxes down back in there. We have a bunch of boxes and helicopters in there. So there's a few of them in here. Man, you have some real addiction. I do. I need a bigger garage. Actually, what I need to do is just clean this freaking garage. It's been... Sorry for shaking you guys all to hell. It has been an absolute mess, and I've just been building. All right. Sorry for that. Okay, now you're good. I have been building, and I haven't had time. Man, you have a serious addiction. Oh, and for you, G2, thank you, Larry. I appreciate it. How many in your personal collection? All but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All but 8. So, like, these 2 on the table are not mine. Oh, did it freeze again? Sorry. Okay. Are not mine. Everything else is mine. But yeah, the frame on the Gaui is 1.25 inches wide. Super, super thin frame. Very cool looking though, but very thin frame.
Hey, Viper 4060. Are you planning to still put a microbrain in the if you would be willing to buy? If so, I would be willing to buy the 6250 off of you.
Yes. So I have a microbrain, and I still want to put a microbrain in the Fusion. That is going to happen sooner and or later. I have just been so busy. I do want to do it, and the 6250
Available. You need to wrap some of the scale fuselage.
No. We got 1 scale helicopter, okay? We'll take it 1 scale model at a time. 1 scale at a time. But I do want to get more into the scale just because I know a lot. I'm no expert pilot, nor do I claim to be an expert, nor do I try to be a pro pilot. There's way better pilots out there than me. Trust me, I know that. I'm not dumb. I'm not a great pilot. I'm a good pilot, not a great pilot. But I know that a lot of you guys like to fly scale. So I would like to, have more of a roundabout channel. So now that we got these wires all tidied up, so now we can work on servo. What are we going to do? Servo 1? Oh, we only got one servo left? Okay, cool. That's good. This guy is going to have to go on the inside of here. And then we can wrap him around this way. Yep, and he's going to have to go on the inside of this one, kind of like that. And then we got to kind of, the boom being in the way. I'm half tempted to pull the boom off until I'm done wiring and then put it all back together. I might do that sooner or later. Uh-oh, did you guys lose me? My tablet shows that I lost you. What happened? Okay, are you back? I'm back, okay. G2, I really appreciate that, but there ain't no way in hell I am good enough to ever come close to Tariq. Tariq is an incredible pilot. I know a lot of people don't like him because his flying is too erratic, but he might fly erratic, but his flying is just unreal.
You are very good pilot. Most people better than the average.
Well, I appreciate it, Larry. I try. And, my thing, too, is I got out of helicopters for a long time. So I've really only technically been back flying helicopters since the channel started. That was when I got back into helicopters. So it's been about a year and a half. And I have definitely progressed a lot over that year and a half. And I've, it's like riding a bike, trying to learn all over again. But I definitely want to become more of like right now I'm practicing Piro flips. And I'm practicing Piro TikToks before I do it in real life. I do it a lot on the simulator. So I definitely want to. My goal one day is to be half as good as Tariq. That is my goal. Yeah, Alan Sarsbo is a good pilot too. He's great. So smooth. So silky smooth. Everything is there. Yeah, he's insane. My buddy Colin Bell was the one that got me into RC. I had his T-Rex 800. That's awesome. I always, that's one helicopter. Of a T-Rex 800. Never had one. Also, my phone battery's at like 10%. So if the live stream shuts off and it dies, I apologize. I've been having fun hanging out with you guys. So we're just going to keep it going. And if my phone dies, it dies. We'll pick up another time. Yeah, the 800's a great machine. I really would like one. But my flying too is I like Smack 3D, but I like more of the big air mix 3D. I mean, I can do Smack and push it really hard, but I like the smoother stuff. I like the more routine style flying. So that's what I try to practice is more routine style. Every once in a while, I want to, switch it up and smack it around a little bit, but I like the big air stuff.
Just bought off him, waiting for the Spirit.
You're going with the Spirit. So I've tried these guys. Demon Axon. And I'm going to say right now, I'm not a fan of them. They are super expensive compared to an Icon, and you get half of the stuff. They're flown a ton. Yeah, it's always a maiden, regardless if it's been flown or not before. It's a maiden to you. So it's going to be a maiden flight. All right, so we're going back to wiring. You guys got me taking forever to do this. But it does take a while, though. So, it probably takes me about an hour, hour and a half if I'm not sitting here talking a bunch. So what do we decide? Are we doing the scale build, like rebuild series after the Gaui? Or what's the plan with that? What do you guys want to see? I know you guys are sick and tired of SAB builds.
Tariq, a lot of his flying isn't as smooth as it needs to be, but he's flashy and he's 1,000 control. I consider him and Nick Maxwell the best pilots. I went with Spirit Colin. Yes, Viper.
So Tariq's flying style is very different and it doesn't appeal to a lot of people. But his flying style is absolutely unreal. Like that guy has so much control of the sticks. It's just insane to be able to do what he does, control it the way he controls it. I mean, that guy is just unreal.
As long as I know you are still okay. Better a toasted battery and a happy and a healthy Jeff. Yeah, as long as Tariq is one of a kind. Never get tired of SAB builds. I will send you some of my
You have some of those?
CAT-Rex 600 XM build. Was trying to remember his name. Was gonna say it. Saturday Prince looking dude. Yeah. You can't get bored with SAB. I don't think so either. What man, I would love one of those models. The yeah, I would, Mike. I would love one of those models. If you send me an email and we'll talk, I would definitely. I want the goal for the channel is I want to be able to progress us and make this channel where it's a one-stop shop channel for everything. I'm gonna give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna grab a charger to plug my phone in so this don't die. I'll be right back. Ultimates for my Raw. Yeah, I want to try the Raw 420 Ultimates too. Really want to try those. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, I apologize. I am back. So 10th thing, I just remember his name. I was gonna say, have a fantastic night, just we used to you and the family, Dad, Grandpa.
You have a fantastic night as well, Larry. I hope you have a great time and family safe. Oh, and to answer your question about the 700XN, just give me 1 second while I take you guys and plug a phone in. Okay, so to answer your question about the 700XN, I don't have a 700XN. I would love to build one or a 600XN, but I don't have one and I haven't gotten a customer wants one built yet. So as soon as somebody ever XN build on the channel. And no, G2, no, I do not have a logo build coming by any chance. I have never built a logo and I have never done any flying of a logo. I do have a logo 200 coming, which is just an OMP Hobby M2, but I haven't built a logo. And Mike, did you say?
What do you do for a living?
So I basically work on cars, turn wrenches, fleet maintenance and stuff like that. Pretty soon I've got something in the works and it involves pretty much doing this full time, and that's my ultimate goal is to build and do this YouTube full time.
So have you seen the updated
Viper? Yes, I've seen it. Now, I don't know. I have a lot of controversial things about that helicopter. Now, I understand that every helicopter is a helicopter, and you can only, you only have a set of blades and a tail blade. Like you can only do so much with a helicopter. But I don't like that they took a lot of SAB's design and
they really copied a lot of SAB. Now you could argue back, of course, and say, well, Align was copied for many years, and that is very true, and that wasn't right either. But I think they should have just did their own twist on it. I think they should have did their own stuff. Trying to retire so you could buy more scale. You're a licensed master tech. That's awesome too. But yeah, I'm excited for that, Mike. I would love to have one of those models. I've never had one, and they're super cool helicopters. Yeah, and of course, yeah. I mean, like I said, it's a controversial topic, and everybody will say, like, oh, but this one's this one, and that one's that one. I just think that Align, so for many years, and yes, it is like an affordable raw. I think it's going to do great. I think they're going to sell like hotcakes, and I will probably own one. Definitely going to be interested in it. I definitely want one. I think that, Align's biggest setback for many years has been the torque tube tail. You have a lot of issues. You can snap gears if you're hard on the tail. If you're running a hard tail stop, you touch the tail, you snap, strip out torque tube gears. But I think that it's going to do great. I personally think the canopy is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. I don't like the paint scheme. I don't like the design. But we have companies like Master Pro for that reason right there. I'll finish crimping up this third wire here. Third servo end. I always start with the negative, so that way you always make sure that they're crimped the right way. If you don't start with the negative and you roll it over, then the servo that locks in is the wrong way. I like to push it in just till I see the tip of the wire. And that gives me a good crimp every time. That is for sure. I don't like the canopy either. Like, the canopy's just, I don't know. I don't like it. It's ugly. They didn't even do a good job on the paint scheme. Like, just all of the canopy looks bad. But Mask Pro can fix that. What do you think about it, although I won't buy it? The Soxus, or whatever you pronounce it or say it. What do I think of that helicopter? I think it's cool. I really like their unique tail design. I like that tail servo and how they did it. That's another one that I wouldn't mind owning. I would really, really like to own one of those one day and try it, or at least fly one, or at least build one. My ultimate goal with the channel is to have enough. I want to have a build video on every helicopter. That is my ultimate goal, to have a build video on every helicopter, so that way everybody has something they can watch. And I like to do airplane stuff too, but I don't do as much airplane stuff because 90% of you guys are helicopter people. Or you're here for helicopter stuff. So I'm not going to start posting a bunch of airplane stuff, even though I want to. What do you think about it? Did I get in your guys' way here? Flip this around. Push and crimp. Only one more to do, and then wire up the SRXL2 and the satellites and the junction of heat shrink and whatever else is left. I was going to try to have this thing done for tomorrow. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but we can try. Well, it's going to all give me a little bit of wiggle room. Let's go ahead and just kind of position these wires the way they're going to go. So they're going to kind of just be like that. Give us a nice clean look here. That's at least what we're going for anyways. Clean look. There we go. Now we can run the throttle servo. I like the shape of that 700X cannon. I just don't like the mint green one. Do I ride motorcycles? Yes, I ride motorcycles all the time. I own 3 bikes as it is now. What kind of airplanes do I fly? I fly everything from slow stuff to 300 miles an hour, electric prop planes to turbine jets to scale warbirds. I like the shape of this yellow 100X engine. I just don't like the matte green. Yeah, the X series canopy is great. Like on the 470, I don't like the stock canopy. This one, it looks like a bubble. I don't like it. But I like the X that I have like on my personal 470. Think it's a great canopy. I think it looks good. And I like that it is yellow and it is visible. So we have a yellow. How do you even see that? 100 miles an hour is nothing. That's go back on the channel and watch the Tortuga video. SAB Tortuga, that's 256 miles an hour. It is remembering you fly by your last move. It's all a muscle memory. The 470 is a great model. It's one of my favorite Align models, actually. It is one of my favorites. I really like that helicopter. That with the combination of the micro or the FBL unit, the brain icon, great combination. Flies incredible. So we have to get tucked back here because you have to go over here. There we go. Close enough. Yeah, and then we can kind of figure all this out. This is the one thing that sucks when you're trying to wire this up. Is usually I'll tape all the wires so they stay where I need them and they don't get caught onto all of this. And then we're going to want to take this, run this guy here, and feed it without losing our wire jumble mess here. Feed it into here, and we're going to want to cut it off right here. There we go. Cut it off there. Yeah, the 470 would be a monster with 420 blades. I think it would still weigh less than the raw. So yeah, I did a weight comparison video. So 420 blades on a 470, you got a lot more than just blade length. It will never have the power that the 420 raw has, mainly because the raw 420 has a direct drive motor. But you could probably swing 20 blades on it, but you're not far off of that tail. When you go from tail blade to tail blade, I mean, if that blade flexes, which it shouldn't, you don't have much more room. So now if you would extend the boom out, get a longer boom, longer belt, you could definitely run 420s. Thanks, Mike. I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, send me an email. I'll be looking for one. Again, westhobbiesrc@hotmail.com. So thank you. I appreciate it. Send me an email. We'll get together and talk. Have a good night, bud. The one thing, Viper, the one thing about the raw 420 that really makes it a beast is the direct drive motor and the power to weight ratio. The 420 has an incredible power to weight ratio. Super light. Take care, buddy. Have a good night. Appreciate you hanging out. Oh, so what was the thing? Do you want me, guys, to... I can't even talk. Jesus, what's up? Do you guys want me to start doing more live feeds, maybe like once a week or every other week or something, like a question and error? You guys can with me while we do something stupid like this and take 3 times as long as it should to wire this thing. How many of you guys are still watching? What are you guys doing tonight? You should be watching. There's nothing more important than West Hobbies RC on YouTube right now. But I am glad that it's a small group tonight because reading a lot of comments is not easy. Definitely takes a while. Strip these wires back. Did I miss anybody's comments? Live stream once a week, so it would be cool. Yeah, I can try to do live stream once a week. So that way we can just catch up on whatever we got to catch up on for the week, talk about things. What days would work best for everybody? Like, what's your preferred day? I was meaning stretch. My first 475 so good. I had 3 and 2 days. Yeah, if you could stretch the 420 to I'm sorry, if you could stretch the 470 and run 420 blades, I think it would be. I think it would work good too. I think it would do. Needed more power to get a slotted mount, but it's definitely doable. Anything can be done. You can make a beast of a 420 or a 470. I like the 470 though. I've had mine for well over a year now. It's got, can't even remember how many flights are on that helicopter. It's got a ton of flights. And it's still kicking. So you want have okay, let's try. Now I can't promise you guys this. Try for Saturdays at, let's say, how does that work? 6:30, 7 o'clock on Saturdays. Now I won't be able to do it every Saturday, but week percent as I work second shift. So okay, how does everybody feel about Saturdays? Let's say 6:30, 7 o'clock. I'll try to do, maybe we'll do 2 Saturdays a month or something right now, just because it's a lot to try to do everything that I do, be a dad, be a husband, build helicopters, make videos. Also, another thing I wanted to ask and see your guys' opinion on is if I did a Patreon or a PayPal account, how many of you guys would actually find it and use it, or do you guys think that's just stupid and to not even bother? Because I would do a Patreon where you would get like a little emoji next to your name and early access to the videos, do different tiers where you guys have different options, and mainly just to help support me and support the channel, because this stuff is not, it's not cheap. It's expensive to do these videos and to make these videos, and I do it so I enjoy it, so I do it for the fun of it. But it would help. Just activate the streams in case. Yes, I will definitely activate them so that way they can be played back. And I know this is my first stream, so you guys, I wasn't expecting a good turnout, but with everybody that's been hanging out with me for the last, how long have we been on? Over 83 minutes. Yeah, we've been on for a little while now. You guys have been listening to me ramble for that long? Jeez. And just so everybody knows, don't feel obligated whatsoever. If you don't want to donate or help, that's fine. You guys just watching the videos helps. So I don't want anybody to feel obligated. Just give the video a like and share the video, get the views up, and that helps big time. So if you guys don't want, to contribute, or you don't, I don't want you to feel obligated. I don't want you to feel like you guys are forced, or that I'm turning this channel into a money-making only thing or something like that, because that's not it at all. But if you guys do find it useful and helpful, it would definitely help me out big time on these builds, on making videos moving forward. Because yes, the channel is monetized, but I hardly make anything off of this channel every month, and it cost me a lot. It is definitely not cheap to build these things. Now, of course, granted, some of these are not my models, but even on my personal, still got to build it. All right, so now done. Now we're still going to junction heat shrink all this together. So now what we got to do is figure out satellite placement and wire up the SRXL2. You guys like the live stream? Let's get the likes up. Let's give this live stream a like. I know it might suck, but at least it helped me out. So now we have to figure out where these satellites are going. So we got our carbon safe satellites, long antenna. Let's go ahead and get those out. We got our wires. Let's go ahead and figure out what we want to do here. So my idea here is to take another one of these antenna mounts. This is my idea. And we have our SRXL going up. So what I would like to do here is take this antenna mount and put it down here like this, notch it out, and it would run the antennas down out the bottom of the helicopter like this. So we have two antennas going up and two antennas going back. I think that would look really good. That would help get our antennas out and away from everything. So we have that option because the antennas are super long, so we can put them anywhere. So we can lay them on the inside of the frame here, run them through and out, whatever. We can figure out some way to do this. Maybe run them down like this, so that way the wires go up easier and cleaner. Run the antennas down and through here, something like that. So we got to figure out where to put those. And we got to do this. So let's go ahead and let's do this SRXL2 wire while we're sitting here. We just need to crimp on a new end. So on the SRXL2s, your black is your negative. Your little orangey colored wire is your positive, and your brownish, purplish colored wire is your signal. So we're going to strip back a little bit. Oh, okay. Well, we're just going to strip it all back because we just cut it off. So we are going to come back here. These wire strippers are my new ones, and they are sharp. Barely put any pressure on them and freaking cut the wire right off. Okay, so we got it stripped out. Now let's grab some. Do you guys have any questions for me you want me to answer? Something you wish you could say while we're, at the video, in the videos? Let me know. Leave it in the comments. I'll try to do my best to answer everything I can. If you guys want to know something more about me, ask me. We'll try to get that done and get it left in the comments. Is the phone? Yeah. Making sure it didn't die out yet. Let's see, G2. Yeah, okay, I read all those already. Making sure actual comments. We're going to crump our little end in here. See that? Get that ready, and we'll start with ground like we always do. With the ground wire, and then we'll cover this in heat shrink too, so that way it's all nice and clean. We're going to run this guy through here. We're looking for the end of the wire poke through. Now we got a good old crimper crimp. Give it a tuggy tug. Good to go. Would you rather fight one horse sized duck or 100 duck sized horse? Question. I don't know. 100 sized duck. A one horse sized duck or 100 duck sized. I would probably say one horse sized duck. Because 100 duck sized horses, that would be bad. I would pick one horse sized duck. What about you? What would you rather do? I don't think I've ever been asked that question before, so that's definitely something new. I don't think I've ever heard that question before. I've heard a lot, but I ain't heard that one. Why don't you the guys are starting out? I think it'd be good. I could do like a simulator review. So I thought about. I need to. So I'm not like not mechanically. I'm very mechanically, but I'm not very technical savvy. So I need to figure out a good editor and figure out a way to do that kind of videoing, because I really don't have a clue on how I would do it. I want to, but I'm not exactly sure where to start doing that. But that is a good option to do for people starting out. A lot will find it really useful. Craig, I appreciate you being here. Yeah, you guys, the live stream will always be saved after the video. So if you ever miss it and you want to come back, this is the first time I've ever done one. So I literally don't know what I'm doing. So this is the first time. It took me forever to get started. Been trying since 6 o'clock. I really wanted to do a live stream for a couple, like 2 weeks now. I've been wanting to do a live stream, but every time I get home from work, okay, so we need to make sure what we're doing and remember. So every time I get home from work or every time I want to do one, it's always late, and I don't know what time is too late because I'm up late at night, but I don't know how many of you guys are up that late at night. Okay, so let's finish getting this wire connected. So now we are all there. Let's spin it up. OBS Studio for recording. Resolve is a editor. Okay, cool. I'll check those out. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not very computer savvy. I can build anything, but I'm not that good at doing computer stuff. So now our SRXL2 wire is done. So again, brown is your negative. The orange is color wire is your positive. So whatever is next to the negative is always going to be your positive. So because I know on some of these SRXL2s, wires are all different colors. So just remember that whatever's above the positive or above the negative is always your positive, and the top pin's always your signal. So we are going to plug this guy into our SRXL2, and it is going to follow the elevator servo wire, and it's going to come down and around. Of course, we are going to cover it in heat shrink, but I want to make sure it's long enough because I really don't want to have to extend it, but I will if I have to. And it's going to go right into channel 3. Let's see, I don't like that it's not. Man, I don't want to extend it just for an inch. But we might have to, because I don't like that once all these wires are jumbled together and nice and tight, that there's going to be a pretty big gap there. If you guys can see that. I don't like that. So it looks like we're probably going to extend it. Yeah. So we could. I keep these servo extension wires, and we could extend it out with a couple different ones here. So let's see what we're gonna do. But we want to extend it where it is long enough that you won't see us splice it once we have junction heat shrink on, which that's going to be very close to seeing. No, we shouldn't see that. So it looks like we're going to cut and solder and extend this SRXL2 wire, because I do not like that it is that tight. I want it to run down and follow. Yeah. So we're going to extend this, so let's pull it. It sucks that we just crimped it, but it is what it is. So we're going to pull it around. We are going to use this wire here, or can we use this wire? We're going to go to channel 3 here, pop that guy into there. We're going to follow this around so it all matches with the curves. And we are going to have it follow the elevator wire. So we need to cut it off about here. Yep, so we're going to cut it here. Throw this guy away. And we are going to solder this up so that way it all matches nice and evenly. And then we'll cover it all in heat shrink, and you will never know that we did it. Well, you guys will, because you're watching. But the normal person would never know. So my biggest issue is I don't have these ends. So I need to really buy those ends and some crimp tools for them so I can start making these ends as well, because I'd rather crimp and make like a whole new wire. But I don't have the ends to do that. So for now, we'll just solder this wire together, cut off a little section here, tin it up, solder it together, and we will be good to go. Any other duck things? No. Any more duck questions? All right, guys, but I think I'm going to call the stream here. We've been on it for a while. Thank you, Craig. I greatly appreciate it. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad everybody's watching. Thank you guys for all the support that you do give me. Thank you for watching every video. It really does means a lot to me that you guys watch and you allow me and give me the drive to do what I do every day to try and help you. Yes, my nose is stuffed up, so I apologize. But I want to thank you guys. I'm going to end this stream off. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Enjoy your weekend. I'm going to get to soldering, finish up this helicopter, so maybe we could get a maiden flight in on it tomorrow. So I want to thank each and every one of you guys. I hope you have a great night, and take care. Oh, hi, Micro Helicopters, and hi, Wolfie. I hope you guys have a great night. Take care, and have a great day.